How's it going, everyone? Today I have a team building guide for Pokemon Revolution Online.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! Stay calm!
This is going to be a basic guide, which means I will not be going into much depth about different types of teams like stall, hyper offense, or weather. I will only be sticking with balance, as in my opinion, the general concept and process of building any team is best explained by a balanced team.
Okay.
You should also know that no team is perfect. No matter how many hours you spend building and theorizing about a team, there will always be certain matchups you cannot beat. So it's better to spend more time playing the game rather than just thinking about what a team can and not do. Also, all the information in this video is off the top of my head, so if you think I missed something, just let me know in the comments. Anyways, the first order of business while building any team is to decide what you want to use. It could be a single Pokemon like a Mega Beedrill or a core like Tyranitar plus Charizard. Let's say I want to use a Mega Medicham today. Now, we are going to decide what its role is going to be. Like what does Medicham do? It is a really powerful attacker and it can be a really great wall breaker. So I want to do exactly that. I'm gonna go max attack and speed with adamant nature so that I can punch holes in my opponent's team. High jump kick is the best stab move it has. I also want to add priority in fake out, and I want to use Thunder Punch so that I can knock Slowbro out. That is like the most common switch in against Medicham because it resists both of his stab moves, doesn't really take much from fake out or ice punch or bullet punch. So yeah, I want to go with a adamant nature Medicham and use Thunder Punch on it so that I can wall break and also check Slowbro. Now, how would I know that Medicham can knock out Slowbro using Thunder Punch? That's where the damage calculator comes in. You're going to check what each Pokemon can give or take using certain moves. So as you can see here, Mega Medicham using Thunder Punch has a 94% chance to knock a Slowbro out. 94% chance to 2-hit KO Slowbro. What if I add Stealth Rock? Then it becomes a guaranteed chance. Awesome, now I need Stealth Rock in my team. Again, it's not necessary to always use damage calculator, like you can just roll with health calcs and stuff. But if you are diving deep into team building, I think damage calculator is a great asset and you should use, because knowing these calcs, like knowing that a Medicham can 2-hit KO a Slowbro using Thunder Punch with the help of Stealth Rock is just nice. It's just great. You have that information in your mind now. So that's why I think damage calculator is a really good tool and you should use it if you want to get better in team building. Anyways, coming back to the team, as we saw, now we need Stealth Rock in our team. Not only because it helps us knock the Slowbro out, but also because it is a really great move. Like Stealth Rock is the best move in competitive Pokemon. It's just so awesome to give every Pokemon that comes out in the field 12% damage, 6% damage, or 25% damage, or even 50% damage. So yeah, we want to add a Stealth Rocker. There are a lot of Stealth Rock users in the tier: Chansey, Clefable, Escadrille, Garchomp. But we don't only need a Stealth Rocker, because if you just use any Stealth Rocker like a Chansey, that doesn't really help Medicham in any way. We want to use Pokemon that can help Medicham achieve its goal, that have good synergy with Medicham, and one of those Pokemon is Landorus, because not only it has access to Stealth Rock, but also U-turn that allows it to switch out and get Medicham on the field safely so that it can wall break and you can gain an upper hand in the battle. Like Volt-on momentum is just so awesome for wall breakers like Mega Medicham or Bandit Tyranitar, Specs Galdio. These Pokemon just appreciate coming out on the field safely without having to hard switch into a move and get crippled or get damaged. I am going to go with Earthquake, Rocky Helmet, and a Impish defensive spread to 52 to 32 and 8 and 16. Now even with EV spreads, you don't have to use this intricate EV spreads. Like if you don't know these spreads, it's fine, just go max and 4, because you're going to play the game and you're going to learn after that. And as I said, damage calculator, this is where like this comes in. So if you want to check something, maybe okay, I've been using a max HP and max defense Landros for a while, but I've noticed that Mega Manectrix HPI sometimes knocks my Landros out, sometimes doesn't. So what is the calc there? What is the chance of knocking it out? So then you go over to the damage calculator, drop a Landros here, defensive spread, go with Mega Manectrix, and look at HPIs. Okay, that is a 6.3% chance to OHKO. So how can I reduce that? I have max HP. Maybe I should add a little bit of special defense. Bam, that's a guaranteed 2-hit KO now. Okay, so I only need 8 special defense. That's fine, I can manage that. And you just go 8 special defense and boom, now you can survive a Mega Manectric HPIs from max health. So that's how intricate EV spreads are like determined, and you get to know about these EV spreads. But at the start, you don't have to like search for complicated EV spreads and like, oh, how much defense, how much is special defense. Nah, just roll with max and you're going to learn on the way, as long as you're paying attention and trying to improve. Yeah, for now I'm just gonna go with this common Impish Landros spread. 16 EVs allow you to beat Adamant Tornado. Even for moves, like you don't have to fill all 4 move slots instantly. You can just leave this here and come back after adding 6 Pokemon in your team. Come back here and see what your team needs, what your team lacks, and use a move accordingly. Maybe after adding 6 Pokemon I would need Stone Edge, so I'm going to use Stone Edge. If I need Toxic, I'm going to use Toxic. One thing I also want to mention is Smoke on Strategy Pokédex. So if you don't know about movesets and EV spreads of common Pokemon, you can refer to the Strategy Pokédex, look at Generation 6, XY or SM's Generation 7, and just see what these Pokemon use. Pro definitely has a lot of differences, as Pro's meta is such a mess. How can I put this? It has a fusion between Generation 6 and Generation 7. So if we take an example like a Rotom Wash. So if you look at Generation 6, Rotom doesn't learn Defog, but in Pro it does learn Defog because it does that in Generation 7. As you can see, it has Defog now. Even though Pro has Pokemon till Generation 6, its mechanics like moves, abilities and items work as they do in Generation 7. But again, if you are like starting out and want to know about spread, it's fine to just look at spreads on this website, because they are obviously correct. It's just Pro that's different, and you just have to figure out those differences by playing the game. So after recording the whole video, I just realized that I didn't really talk about balance team itself, like its structure. In balance, you need to use both offense and defense in your team. Like Medicham is an offensive Pokemon. We are going to add more offensive Pokemon in our team, but we also want to tank hits from other physical attackers or special attackers. So that's why, while looking at synergy and stuff, you also need to keep that structure in mind while building. So that's why I added a Landros, because it's a defensive check. So I also talked about roll compression. So that's what roll compression is. So Landros is a stealth rocker, and it is a U-turn momentum gainer, plus it is a defensive tank as well. That's what you need to keep in mind. Rotom is a defensive tank, and it's like there can be more than one things, like you can use more than one specially defensive Pokemon, you can use more than one defensive Pokemon, but just know that there needs to be some sort of balance between offense and defense. So yeah, I added Rotom Wash, and I added a AV Tornadoes because of its Assault Vest that allows it to just tank special hits. So yeah, back to the video. Right, so yeah, coming back to the team, as I said, we need Volt and Momentum, and also Stealth Rock and Defog go hand in hand. So we now need a Defogger and a Volt Switch user. So you can like use 2 Pokemons that like use a Volt Switch user like Zapdos, and then use a Defogger like something else, maybe a for example a Pelipper. But that's just bad, because you're filling your slots too quickly. What you want to focus on is roll compression. How many rolls can you fit in a team of 6 Pokemon? So if I have a Zapdos and it is a Volt Switch user, then I can also add Defog on Zapdos because it is a good defogger. We did same with Landorus. We could have used a Garchomp and then added a U-turn user, but we have an option where we can compress the role, add Stealth Rock and U-turn on a single Pokemon. So that's what we are going to do. Now this is where type effectivenesses come in as well, because if you look at this team, I have Landorus that is immune to ground and that is immune to electric type moves, but it is weak to ice type. And if I add Zapdos as a Volt Switch and Defog user, it is also weak to ice type, and I don't really need another ground immunity. I already have Landorus. I don't need another flying type that is weak to ice. What I need is something that can maybe resist ice. So if you look at Volt Switch and if you look at Defog, okay, we want to compress Volt Switch and Defog in a single Pokemon. What are the best options? Those are Zapdos and Rotom Wash. Now we ruled out Zapdos because it is weak to ice, so we can use Rotom because it resists ice type moves. It has Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, and then Defog. And on top of that, it also has that ground immunity. Now I said that we don't need an additional ground immunity, but that's because we don't need the same typing. Like, we don't need another flying type. What we need is that can resist an ice type move, and Rotom does that. And on top of that, Rotom even has that additional ground immunity, which is fine to have if you're getting something for free. That's just great. This is the process you want to go through. You want to pay a lot of attention to type weaknesses and immunities and resistances while building a team. For now, I'm just gonna go with a defensive spread on Rotom. Real nice 8 bold Rotom with lefties. Okay, we have added Pokemon that can help Medicham achieve its goal, but we just can't rely on Synergy alone. We need to also pay attention to what is used in the meta, what Pokemon are common and heavily used by your opponents. For example, a Keldeo. If you look at Keldeo and this team, you can notice that Keldeo is faster than all three of these mons and can knock them out using any single move. So now we need a Keldeo counter / check in our team. What is a good Keldeo counter? Now there are multiple options like a Tornadus or a Latias or Latios, and sometimes you just don't know what would work, like because Latias is a great Keldeo check and a great pick, and so is Tornadus, and you don't really have any prior information of what is going to work here. So you can try either of them out. Maybe have two versions of a single team, version 1 with the Tornadus, version 2 with the Latias, and then try both of them out in battle and see which one performs better. For now, I'm just gonna go with Tornadus as it is a really fast Pokemon, and then Hurricane is a nice super effective stab move for Keldeo. It also has access to U-turn and knockoff. And finally, I'm just gonna go with Heat Wave, as generally on Tornadus, Heat Wave is the best move. Superpower or HP Ice or Icy Wind or Smackdown are kind of situational. So yeah, Heat Wave. Just a standard EV spread, max HP, max speed, and timid nature. So yeah, we added a Keldeo counter. Now we are just going to repeat this process again and again for most Pokemons like Clefable, Alakazam, Metagross, Bisharp. I know all these Pokemon in my head, but you might not. That's why you can refer to this most used Pokemon list provided by staff at the end of every season. Even though they have not provided it for the past 4 seasons, it still is a good tool because generally all Pokemon remain the same. There can be some differences, like Blissey might not be there next season in the top 50, but that doesn't matter because we are not going to use a counter for every single Pokemon in this list. We just need to know what is common and what is used the most so that we can have an idea of what we need to do with the team. Like Clefable, Bisharp, Landorus, Zapdos, Rotom Wash, these are always going to be in the top 20 and top 25, so you don't need to worry about that. Even in Silver, Landorus, Clefable, Rotom Wash, Farathon, Bisharp. So coming back to here, our team, we now need, let's say, a Clefable counter. Clefable is a really annoying Pokemon and can be just really like hard to deal with our team right now. So what is a good Clefable counter? Either a steel type or a poison type. So if we search steel types here, there are a bunch of them that you can use. So Bisharp, maybe Lucario or a Bandit Scizor or a Escadrille. Then again, you want to look at types because we already have a ground type. So do we need another ground type? Maybe not. Maybe we need a dark type like Bisharp that can absorb psychic type attacks and also poison type attacks. It also makes up good synergy. What is Medicham weak to? It is weak to ghost type moves. Bisharp resists that, and Bisharp can knock them out using a super effective Sucker Punch or a knockoff. We did the same with Landros. Landros was weak to ice, so we added a Rotom. Bisharp is weak to fighting type. Medicham can resist fighting types. Great. Landros can resist fighting types. Tornadus can resist fighting types. So that's how you wanna use type effectiveness to make a synergy between your Pokemon in your team. So yeah, Bisharp is a great pick as a Clefable check, because it can, even if Clefable can set up let's say on Rotom and knock it out, you always have Bisharp in the back that you can use to just revenge kill that Clefable. You don't always need a quote unquote hard counter for every Pokemon, because that's just not possible. What you need in a team are measures to avoid getting swept by a certain Pokemon, in this case Clefable. So even if Clefable is knocks one of our Pokemon out, we just go Bisharp and revenge kill it with the super effective Stab Iron Head. So yeah, now again we repeat that process of putting counters and making synergy between our Pokemon. So you can also look at your own team. Let's say Medicham, right? What if opponent has a Medicham? Then I have a Landros that can work as a defensive check to Medicham. Even if Medicham has Ice Punch, that doesn't matter. That doesn't render Landros useless. And like predicting an Ice Punch is like of an in-battle decision type of thing that only comes from experience. Landros can still be considered a Medicham check, but that is not true for Bisharp, because Bisharp gets an attack raise due to its ability Defiant whenever Landros switches in on Bisharp. So we need something that can check Bisharp. What is a good Bisharp check? Let's say a Keldeo. Now you might think that we have a Medicham as fighting type. Why are we using another fighting type? Because Medicham is not a Bisharp check, because it also has that psychic typing, and which makes Sucker Punch neutral on Medicham, and Medicham's defenses are just really bad, so it can't be used to tank moves. That's why we are using a Keldeo that is one of the best Bisharp checks in the tier. So Hydro Pump, Scald, Focus Blast, and Secret Sword. Secret Sword. It can resist both of Bisharp's stab moves, Dark and Steel, and can knock it out using any single one of these moves. So now we have added 6 Pokemon. You must be thinking that, oh, we have 2 flying types, 2 water types, 2 fighting types. That doesn't matter, because it's unavoidable to not have more than 1 Pokemon of the same typing. All that matters is how the synergy is going between those Pokemon, because even if Keldeo is weak to electric, we still have a Landros, and Rotom is not weak to electric. It is neutral to electric. Same with let's say Keldeo. Keldeo is weak to psychic. We have a psychic immunity. Plus Medicham is not weak to psychic. It is neutral to psychic. Same with Landros. Tornadus is weak to rock and electric, but Landros is not. It is immune to electric, and it is not weak to rock type moves. So yeah, it all depends on the synergy that you're creating between your Pokemon. Now we have 6 Pokemon in our team, but the job is not over yet. In fact, the most important part comes now, that is testing the team. Take these 6 Pokemon, put them in your party, and hop into the queue and play some battles and see how this team performs. And maybe after playing some games, let's say you find out that this team is really slow. I am struggling against rain teams with Kingdra, and I'm struggling against maybe Alakazam, Mega Alakazam. So okay, maybe we should add a Scarf user. Let's make Keldeo a Choice Scarf instead of Choice Specs. Wow, I just added Specs again. A Choice Scarf user instead of Choice Specs, because we already have Medicham as a wall breaker, so we might not need the same power on Keldeo. Instead, we can use its speed to outspeed the Pokemon that are giving us trouble. So yeah, now again, you will take this new version of this team and just test it out, play some battles, come here again if you find some problems, adjust it accordingly, then again play some battles, come here, adjust it accordingly, repeat this process until you are satisfied that this team is nice. Now it can't be made any better. Even while testing and building a team, you need to remember that you won't win every game. There are going to be games that render your team useless, and losing a single game doesn't mean that your team is bad, because maybe your opponent had a combination of 6 Pokemon that is really hard to beat using the 6 Pokemon in your team. But that doesn't mean that the team, you need to change the team or switch out. You just go next, play the next battle. And what you need to pay attention on is that your team doesn't lose to a single Pokemon again and again. That's where a red flag pops up, like maybe my team is just losing to Bisharp again and again. Then you need to adjust your team to counter Bisharp. That's how testing works. Now let me just add the remaining moves on these Pokemon. I'm gonna go with Toxic. It helps to poison just common defoggers like Zapdos and Rotom. Thunder Wave on this so that I can paralyze Pokemon and make them slower than Medicham so that it's easier to deal with them. And finally on Medicham, I'm just gonna go with a nice stabs and headbutt. I hope I mentioned everything and this video helped you. This is the first time I'm doing this kind of team building guide, so if you think I missed anything, just let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions, ask them as well. I will definitely answer them. I'm going to use this team in my next video and test it out and see how this works. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like it and also subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to hitting 1000 subscribers. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.